When I was in high school, I had two different girlfriends. Not at the same time, of course, but throughout my entire 4 years of high school. The lesson I learned from both of those relationships was the fact that I shouldn't change who I am in order to appease other people. I have grown up in, in a weird situation where I am very outwardly trying to be funny. A lot of my humor comes from quick-witted remarks, comes from being sarcastic, a lot of just mean humor, if you will. And I I I learned growing up from my parents that I shouldn't do that. It's not the best look. I say that because from an early age, I was always trying to change who I was innately in order to appeal to a more broad audience. I figured out that people don't really like who I was. They wanted someone different than who I was, so I tried to be someone different. My humor was changing, evolving throughout like my entire school career, I guess, but in the sense of I wouldn't make the same jokes I would make to my best friend that I would make to everyone else, if that makes sense. Obviously, I don't mean any racist or sexist jokes. I mean, like, I would just be mean to him, and there would be a comedic effect to it, given the situation and the scenario that we're implied in. I would never do that with anyone else because everyone else wouldn't understand that kind of humor. They would just think I'm being mean. My point is, throughout those two relationships I had, I was always trying to just change who I was. I was always trying to alter the outward perception of me in order to become more appealing, to maybe not come off as rude to maybe her friends. Maybe I remember it was the second relationship. Me and her had jokes we would say to each other. We understood they were jokes. We understood it was humorous. We were laughing. Her friends did not find it as funny. And because of that, I had to then try and just adjust who I was, especially around her friends, in order to not appear like a dickhead. You know, another example of I'm not me in this scenario of someone trying to change who they are in order to appeal to more people is my best friend Elijah. I had two relationships in high school. He had 200. I don't know. A way larger amount than I ever had. And throughout all those relationships, he was always trying to just be someone different. Maybe he was trying to appeal to one facet of himself more than others in order to garner a better relationship with girlfriend number 19. You know what I mean? And I told him at some point, man, I'm like, dude, you gotta just be yourself for a minute, you know? You need to just allow you to just be you. Not only because, holy shit, you've been with so many girls, we need to get you tested, firstly, but in the sense of he was so constantly changing and evolving who he was depending on who he was with. He never grew on his own. He never became his own person. I got a hate comment yesterday. I wouldn't call it a hate comment. It was a critique of these videos, saying that I need a script because they did not appreciate all the ums and the oh, I'm trying to think. I do admit yesterday's video was kind of cringe. I didn't have anything to talk about. I just came home and I said, you know what, I was thinking about conspiracy theories earlier today. Let me just run with that. I'm done changing for other people. Throughout, like, I've learned in life when you try to change who you are, change what you do, change to appeal to someone else's own depiction of what you should be, you lose your sense of identity. You lose that sense of drive. The whole point of let's say my main YouTube channel, I'm constantly changing and evolving my editing style, even the way I appear on stream. I'm constantly changing and adapting, but at the same time, it is still integral to who I am as a person, to who I am on stream. It's still me. It's still I'm in control. I may be changing, yes, but I'm not changing and adapting in order to appeal to certain people. I'm changing and adapting in a format that allows me to better myself and to better my skills in order to continue improving and continue reaching a broader audience. And that audience, if they don't like what I do, I just move on to the next. I don't continue, or I just keep broadening and keep, no, totally not broadening. I'm gonna backtrack. I just move on to the next fucking audience. You know what I mean? I continue changing and adapting, even though it's still my craft and it's still like personal to me and what I do, and it's still my humor. It's still whatever I do. It's still an essence of me in every video. I'm still changing. I'm never gonna fucking write a script for these ones. This is the whole point of these videos is that I'm setting up a camera right there. This is my laptop. This is my mic. I'm talking at a wall. There's my monitor right here. There's a ring light and then a fucking wall. This is what I'm looking at. A wall. And I don't ever plan to change that. The point of these videos is that these are inherently therapeutic for me because I get to just ramble on for a couple minutes, but also the fact that usually I admit yesterday was kind of fucking weird. I had nothing to talk about. Usually they're like relatable, maybe introspective, maybe you learn something from them if I'm talking about something actually serious instead of fucking Shane Dawson fucking his cat. The point is I'm not changing these videos, you know? I would never change the videos on my main account, on my main channel. I would never change them because I get a hate comment being like, uh, again, these are not hate comments, these are critique comments. I don't know why I'm taking a comment. I would never change my stuff because some dude is like, hey, I didn't like the fact at this point you did this or something. I'm like, okay, go fuck yourself, lol. This is my video. If you don't like it, either go watch someone else or make your own shit. You know what I mean? I'm not I'm done changing for other people. If I find it suitable, if I find it necessary, if I find it beneficial for me to change and adapt in order to continue improving my craft, then yes, I'm going to continue learning, continue adapting, continue just the cycle of improvement, you know, of finding an issue, addressing it, and then solving it. To to look at someone else's opinion of you, to look at someone else's ideal version of you, and to go, I need to become that in order to appeal to this person or to appeal to this audience or to appeal to whatever. That's bullshit. That's not how you improve. Yes, you may outwardly maybe get some like level of success through that, but it's a facade. It's not who you are as a person. It's you putting up an act in order to play a role. You know, it's no different than an actor getting into character. And frankly, I'd rather not do that. The point of this video, guys, the moral of the story here, never change your character, never change who you are in order to appeal to someone else's self like identity of who you should be. You are who you are. And if people don't like that, they can go fuck themselves. Thank you.